Back here at Mariemont High School, I am Greg Waddell, and we are talking boys track now as we are here with head coach Natalie Dragovich, my first repeat coach. We got to talk to you last fall talking about cross country. We've gone from fall through the winter. We made it through the winter. Here we are with boys track now. Tell me a little bit about the boys track and what's going on.
The boys team is doing very well so far. I have one boy returning that made it to the state last year, and he is in the 300 hurdles, and he did that in the state, and then he's also running the high hurdles, Jonah Dill. He's looking to go back in both. He wants to get in there in the high hurdles this year and go in the 300 hurdles, which is a great goal. And he's also a part of the boys 4x4 team with Sean Reber, Nolan Buck, and Martin Eisenhower that so far this year have not lost their relay yet. So that's very exciting. We'll see how it ends up. They have a big race tomorrow to see how they are challenged.
So you mentioned the experience. So he was at state a year ago. How important is that for him now to have had that experience to bring that back in this year?
That's very important. It gives him the experience to know what to do, how to get prepared, how to race, and it just makes it above. It goes above the level that way for that.
Anytime you can have an experience in something that can be kind of a nerve-wracking type of a situation or at a level maybe you haven't been to before, now he has been there.
Correct.
And he can take that through the whole regular season, I would imagine.
Yes, he can, and we're working on that right now.
So you mentioned Nolan Buck. I remember his name from cross country too. So
yes, he's also runs the mile and the 800 for us. He's one of my top runners in that aspect, so it's really good to see him be a part of that 4x4 and get his sprint speed down to be a part of that this year, which is exciting.
And that's not easy to do, going from sprinting in a situation like that into the long distance run.
Correct.
Well, I say it's not easy. For me, it's not easy.
It's more of a sprint nowadays than it used to be.
Man, isn't that the truth? That is
Yes.
that's for sure. So as far as numbers in track, how about how many athletes you have this year?
30 boys this year.
And is that
That's probably around my highest number. 25 to 30 is about where we stay, which is a great number.
And I'd love to kind of watch how the diversity of these athletes, some, like we mentioned, Nolan Buck, run cross country, but how many other athletes from other sports do you have coming through? Football guys or basketball guys?
We usually see some soccer guys.
Soccer, yeah, sure.
We see a few basketball, but football, they go to lacrosse, so we don't see them there.
None in the field portion? Or?
We have one, Jake Perkins,
okay.
But most of them are lacrosse players.
Okay. I guess that kind of makes
Yeah.
some sense. So what, as far as organizing practices for track, and my daughter is run track at the junior high level, trying to keep the athletes focused, and I mean, it takes a lot of work to plan these practices out.
That's
much
why I
less
have
the meets.
2 assistants. They do a great job of helping out with the sprinters because I also have the girls team, so we have to divvy up both. And I have my 2 assistant coaches that take care of the 200 and under runners and some long jump, and I take care of the 400 and higher and high jump. And then actually my junior high coach helps with the shot put and discus. So it's a team effort to get us through.
And does that, I mean, when you have the junior high coaches involved, I would imagine then that some of these athletes had those coaches before or familiar? I mean, that's got to help too.
It does. It's a big help. Yes.
Certainly. So as far as the rest of the season goes now, what do we have the rest of the way through before you get into the tournament?
We actually leave this afternoon to go to Anderson High School for a 2-day meet. And then in 2 weeks, we have our home invitational before our league meets.
And I want to talk about that a little bit too. And I know I've talked with athletic director Tom Nurl about the organization and what goes into hosting home track meets. So tell me a little bit about that, and mostly a way to thank all the volunteers that help.
It takes a lot of effort. It takes more of just getting the teams in. We have a lot of junior high that help out with the hurdles and different things like that. But now that we have a timing system, it makes our lives a little bit easier. We used to have to do everything by hand, used to have to write everything down. Now that it's all on the computer, we don't have to do as much as we used to. So that makes it a lot easier for us, but there's always a love-hate relationship with the computer and the timing system.
And they always say it's a user error.
Yes, right.
Whatever.
Something always happens, but it ends up working out very nicely.
But again, it's a great undertaking, though. I mean, just to organize it all, to have all the kids here, get them in the right spots at the right time, PA announcers. I mean, all that. There's a lot that goes into that.
Yes, there is.
So,
and having the good officials to help it run efficiently.
Without a doubt, too. So there's so many different levels of it. Well, then tournament time, and then hopefully we'll get some people advancing on?
Yes. My goal is to get some Jonah to advance on, and then I also have the girls team. And we'll talk about Marion Valentine. She is
remember her from cross country, yeah.
She runs the 800, and 2 weeks ago, she ran a 2:19.28, which is a very fast time just for her first race without competing against anyone. So tomorrow she has a good shot at have some really good competition to lower her time. And then she's also a high jumper. She's high jumped 5.2. And she's a part of my 4x4 girls relay team.
That's a lot of versatility there.
Well, yes. So she is coming back. She went to the state in the 400 as a sophomore. She went in a high jump last year as a junior. So now her goal is to do the 800 and the high jump to go back to state in this year.
Well, good luck to her. Good luck to the girls and the boys.
Yes.
I didn't realize you did
That's
both.
okay.
So
That's
well, then
right.
how about the girls? How are they doing then? Let's make sure.
They're doing well. Besides Marion, the girls, Riley Dunn is my 2-miler.
Remember her name as well from cross country.
She's done very well so far. She's going to race actually today, working to get her time better. And then my girls' 4x4 team, which consists of Marion, Katarina DeCamp, Kate McIntosh, who's also on the lacrosse team, and Kirsten Souders. So yes,
got a little double dip in there. So how does that? To work out then? Do you get her?
She comes, we scheduled out 3 meets that she could make that she doesn't have lacrosse games, so she's coming to run, and just this one specific race she runs for me.
Oh, okay.
She ran cross country for me, so I asked her to come out for one race.
And how many athletes returning?
I have 25 girls, and the majority of them are returning from last year.
Good.
So a couple new freshmen and a couple new sophomore girls.
All right, and junior high kids, get ready. So when you get up here, so we're going to need you. So, well, best of luck the rest of the way through, and we'll kind of certainly keep an eye out what's going to happen as you get into the state portion of things. Natalie, appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Natalie Dragovich, the boys and girls track coach here and cross country as well. I'm Greg Waddell from Mariemont High School and MariemontSports.com.